Hey there, this is the first video in a mini series where I'm going to be talking about how to create a startup business plan, specifically if you're trying to get an SBA loan. Now, if you're just starting a business or you're just getting a business plan, I think you're going to find a lot of valuable things in this series. But particularly if you're trying to land some financing or SBA financing to get launched, I think you're going to find this to be a perfect roadmap to help you get started. As I mentioned, this is going to be a mini series of videos where we're going to talk about different things that are all related in kind of sequential order that will total up to be what you need to know in order to have a complete written business plan. I should probably introduce myself. My name is Kyle and I lead our custom business plan writing services here at ProjectionHub. I reviewed thousands of business plans in my former capacity as an SBA loan officer, resulting in millions of approved projects for startups and other various small businesses. And in my time with ProjectionHub, I've written hundreds more that have been approved for millions of dollars in financing. So I know a little bit about something and putting these together, and I want to try to share that with you today. So along the way, there's going to be, whether it's this video or the coming videos in this mini series, there'll be lots of different resources for you to take advantage of. I will always try to call those out, but you can count on those being linked down in the top of the description below so you can access those quickly. And yeah, consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video. That way you know when we're dropping additional episodes and videos, and we'll try to link those down in the video below as well, show them at the other end of the video so you can hop right to the next one. If at any point you have a question in the process, feel free to comment down below the videos. You can even reach out to us directly at support@projectionhub.com. We're always answering questions about this kind of stuff, and we would love to help you. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into episode 1, which is going to be kind of the startup business plan basics and why you absolutely need one for an SBA loan. Let's get into it. All right, let's first talk about, I'm not going to do the generic, like, what is your business plan? You know what a business plan is, but I think it's important to understand what are the basic, at its very core, what should your business plan be accomplishing? Now, throughout this mini series, I'm going to be showing business plan examples. I'm going to be showing you different tools you can use, all of that different stuff. This video is going to be a little bit more conceptual. I'm going to talk you through some key points and set us up for the rest of this series. So at its core, your startup business plan must answer 7 questions. Now that might sound like an oversimplification, and I promise you there's going to be a lot of different details around that. Every question's got a sub question and all that kind of stuff. But really at its core, you need to be prepared to answer 7 questions. And if you can do that, then writing that out and elaborating out to a full business plan is not going to be the hard part. So let's first just go through those 7 questions. First, probably pretty obvious, what is your business going to do? So, we want to make sure the reader of our business plan understands what exactly it is that your business is going to do, whether it's a very, tried and true small business, or if it's a brand new concept, we need to make sure we answer that question. Number 2, who are you and how do you and why do you know what you're doing? We'll talk about why, that's important as we get into it a little bit later on, but a lot of people just don't emphasize, they don't hit that point hard enough. They kind of discount their own involvement in the business. So that's key question number 2 is who are you and how do you know what you're doing? Number 3, why is this a uniquely good opportunity? There's a lot of different ways. And again, we'll drill down into that. All these 7 questions, we're going to drill down into it throughout this mini series, but just giving you kind of the quick snapshot of it now. A uniquely good opportunity, like what's the problem and the solution you're providing? Like why are you uniquely set up to address that problem? Is there a one-off opportunity that's really setting this up for success? Is there a supply demand kind of arbitrage opportunity there? There's a gap in the market that you can take advantage of. Number 4, question we need to answer is how are you going to compete and win? Who are you competing against? What are they doing well? And how are you going to do it better or steal your market share? Number 5, how will you attract customers? And I don't just mean like I put up a billboard and people show up. Yes, you need to do those kinds of things, have a website, etc. But we're going to go a layer deeper than that and say, how can you actually prove and demonstrate that when it comes time to open up your doors, someone is going to be there to be a customer? Number 6, how much funding do you need and how do you plan to get it and how are you planning to use it? So a little bit of a deep dive on securing your funds and how you plan to use those funds. And then 7th, are your financial projections realistic and reasonable for the industry and the situation that you're in? So those are the 7 key questions our startup business plan has got to answer. Now we're going to do that more than just in one sentence, but at its core, if we can answer those 7 questions and extrapolate from there, we're going to be set up really well for our business plan. And I want to quickly kind of debunk some misconceptions about your startup business plan. 1, a lot of people think they have to be really long. That's not necessarily true. Some business plans I've written are really long, and we'll get into that more in future episodes, but I want to put your mind at ease that you don't have to sit down preparing yourself to write a novel. It doesn't have to be long. Number 2, a lot of people think that business and personal stuff needs to be separate. Now there's some examples where that's important, right? Like maybe your bank accounts, those should absolutely be separate, but especially as a startup and as a small business, your business is an extension of you. You're very much involved in it, and your ability to get approved for financing very much depends on you personally. So we want to make sure you are integrated into your business plan. Number 3, this is current with the times, that AI can just do it all for you. Now, I am a huge proponent of using AI to save us time and to do some things that can be really effective. And I'll even show you ways you can use that in your business plan. But I want you to resist the urge to go to an AI tool and say, write my whole business plan for me, and then give that to a lender. There's going to be a lot of downsides to doing that, and you're going to miss out. It's going to limit your ability, I think, to have an effective plan. And I'm going to show you how to use that effectively. Number 4, you think that you have to have it all figured out before you start writing your business plan. That couldn't be further from the truth. I think that your business plan is just as much an exercise as you figuring out what your plan is as it is getting the document together that your lender actually wants. Number 5, a common misconception is that you can just go buy a pre-built template for a business plan, one that's already done, and that you can turn that to a lender. And I'm going to encourage you to not do that as well. Templates are a great starting point. We offer lots of free business plan templates, but you need to really add your customized touch, which is what we're going to get into in this mini series. And last, you think that lenders and investors are going to read every word. They're not. And I don't mean that to be harsh, but I mean that we're going to focus on the things that matter. You don't have to sweat the details like having the perfect novel written out beginning to end. So hopefully those misconceptions can make you feel like there's a little less pressure and also warn you from certain things that you should probably try to avoid. And now let's talk about what are the key sections of a business plan to kind of give you the top to bottom overview of what your business plan should include. Now, one key kind of asterisk I'll put on this is if you are considering acquiring a business or buying a business, there's going to be some additional sections that I'm not going to include right now. But again, this video series is meant more specifically towards a startup business. And this is kind of the structure that I think is really great for business plan. So first, executive summary. That's going to give us our entrance to the business plan. That's our cover page essentially for the job application of getting approved for your financing. Number 2, company description / about the business, right? That's a little bit of the bio pic of your business. You're trying to outline what it is that you do and casting that vision for the reader. Number 3, an overview of the products and service offerings. So we talk about the business and its personality, its identity, and we're talking about how is it actually interacting with its customers? What is it providing? What value is it providing and at what cost? Next is the market analysis. So we'll get into things like our competitors analysis. How do we find out who our target audience is and identify them? Macro level and micro level trends, not to get too sciencey in those words, but really high level trends like nationwide, industry-wide trends, population trends. Micro is more like what's happening in your local, state, regional levels that are opportunities and proof for there to be opportunity for your business. Next is our marketing / sales / customer acquisition strategy. So talking about how we're actually going to get a customer in the door. Next is going to be our operations plan. So how does this business actually going to operate? How are we actually going to follow through on the thing that we've described that we want to do? And then lastly is going to be our financial projections. So deep dive on probably the scariest part for a lot of people. It feels really, really overwhelming, and we're going to demystify that, give you a lot of great options, a lot of great tools. We have a ton of experience in the realm of financial projections, so we're going to really nail that one for you. And why should you feel compelled and excited about writing a business plan? And know it feels like a daunting task, but I promise you, if you go through this process, this journey to really commit to writing your business plan, not only are you going to have this killer effective document that you're required to have and will increase your likelihood of getting approved and get to start your business, but you're going to feel so much more confident and prepared for your actual business. You aren't just writing things down on a paper to give to somebody. You are creating the roadmap of the plan that you're going to follow to be successful. So I promise you, if you follow through this process, you're going to feel a whole lot more confident about launching and starting your business, and we're going to do it together. So there we have kind of our introduction to the overview of the startup business plan basics. We went through a lot of different details. Next up in this series is we're going to be doing a deep dive on the executive summary. So, how to write a killer executive summary is going to be our best thing. So don't feel like you have to write your whole business plan yet. We're going to start with the executive summary, which is going to set you up for success. So you can watch that video next, right after this one. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and stick around for the next one to keep things going. And I should mention, this will become more important in subsequent videos, but the whole main way that we want to be able to help beyond these videos is through a couple of different free review options for you. So this is all going to depend on what stage you are in the process of creating your business plan, seeking an SBA loan, kind of your startup journey. But we got a few different ones I think will be valuable to you. First is our startup feasibility free review. So you'll give us a little bit of information about your idea, and we will help give you feedback on we think this is a great idea. Yeah, we think this could likely get approved for financing. Second one will be your free business plan review. So maybe you already have a business plan draft and you'd like me to look over it and give you some free advice and some tips and some recommendations. That's the second one. And then lastly, maybe you are beyond that and you're kind of contemplating stepping into the SBA application process. We've got a free SBA review where one of our SBA experts will take a look and ask some questions about your information and give you an idea of your approval odds, some things you should work on. So those are 3 different free reviews to try and accommodate to whatever stage you're at. Don't worry about sweating the details of over which one's which, all will make it to our team here and we work together to talk through how to help serve you. So we've linked all 3 of those reviews down below, and in the following videos, I will call those out where they're applicable. But excited to go on this journey with you. Let's go ahead and move on to the next video, and we'll keep talking about how to get your startup business plan ready by writing a killer executive summary. Thanks.